our last thing we're going to talk about today is finishing up with a nice stretch and foam rolling. This is something that you should think about when you're starting to exercise because we want to keep our muscles healthy and our body functioning properly. So if we just lift weights and tighten those muscles up, eventually you're going to cause issues with the joints, with the way your body is supposed to be moving. So we need to counteract that shortening of the muscles with some stretching, which we're going to use this for, and some foam rolling. The foam rolling is essentially kind of like what happens when you get a massage. They find a knot, they press on it, and then it releases. Same kind of principles that come with foam rolling. So with stretching, if you don't have something like this, don't worry about it. You don't have to. Just makes it a little bit easier, especially if you're tight. But what you can do with this little strap, which happens to be my son's karate belt, is use it to kind of pull on your leg as you're stretching in this way. And when it comes to stretching, you want to make sure you're stretching, holding the stretch for at least 30 seconds, a minimum 30 seconds. And you can use this for all other kinds of different stretches. So we're going to use it for the hamstring stretch today. So go ahead and give that a shot. So what we're going to do is bring this down first. Bring your body into proper alignment, just like we've been talking about all day. And then go ahead and lift this leg up. And you want to make sure that this knee does not start to bend, just like that. All right, so when we keep this straight, we're going to get more of a stretch in the back of the hamstring mostly. If you have tight calves, you'll feel it in the calves as well. What this is beneficial for is it's going to help you pull a little more tension on there, but also if you put it a little bit further up here, it's going to help you flex that foot and get even more of a stretch. Yeah, you feel that. And for people that are having issues with their feet, which your feet seem to be pretty healthy, so it's probably not an issue. But like for me, for example, my outer toes, they don't have a lot of mobility. So I can use this to pull on the outside so that I get more of a stretch going in the direction that I need it. If yours is the opposite, if yours is towards the inside that you need more of a stretch, you can use that to manipulate that stretch. So that always feels really good. So when you're stretching after a workout, which by the way, this is static stretching where we're holding it like this. The ones that are moving fast like that, that's called dynamic stretching. You want to do dynamic stretching before your workout, and you want to do static stretching like this after your workout. The reason is because this is putting your muscle into a relaxed state. This is actually forcing that muscle. After the 30 seconds, it's going to relax that muscle. So we don't want to exercise when our muscle is relaxed. Okay? All right, so the other thing, we can go ahead and bring that down. The other thing to think about after your workout is, like I said, the foam rolling. You can also use that lacrosse ball for muscles as well. This is what a lot of people tend to use. And what we're doing is, I like to say, if you could pick 2 body parts per day or per session and do about 7 to 8 minutes on that body part per day or per session, that's a more manageable thing. Because if you try to foam roll your whole body every single time you work out, you're going to give up on that project real quick. So just pick 2 per day and foam roll them. So what you're doing is you're trying to roll. So for example, if I was doing my upper leg area, I would roll until I feel some type of a pain, or like a pain and not, okay, that hurts, ooh, ouch. That's where you're going to stop, and you're going to hold it there for 30 seconds again, a minimum of 30 seconds. And then once that releases, you can usually feel it release. You're going to roll to another area in that same general area, and just keep doing that for that 7 minutes until you just go from one knot to another knot to another knot. So, have you done this before? Sorry. Okay, so why don't you show us how you use it, and you can maybe foam roll the front of the leg, or what's it? Do you have a problem area?
Well, I think that right here. Like
oh, right, that's right. Yeah. So why don't we?
Okay.
And the glutes too.
Yeah, I usually do the glutes, so I know how, but this is a little awkward. So
okay.
I'm not really sure.
Okay, so let's do that.
Do that.
And by the way, while you're getting into position, a lot of times, ladies, if our hip flexors are tight, we cannot engage our glute muscles completely. So keep that in mind if you're like, I can't get my glutes to grow no matter what. Take a look at your hip flexors. If there's no mobility there, if it's too tight, that muscle cannot contract fully.
Okay. So just like this way?
So yeah, just roll on it and actually place the foam where it feels the tightest and just kind of maneuver just a little bit until you find a spot where it's like, ooh, and then you'll just hold it. And for you, you might want to go a little more towards the front.
Okay.
That's all right. Move that out of the way. You feel it there?
Not really. I don't know if I'm doing it right.
So try putting your body a little bit more that way, and the weight on the front. You may not.
I
You
don't
might just
feel-
do the stretching on this one.
I don't feel like the pain point.
Okay.
Whereas in other places, I know what it feels
Try
like.
turning to this side and see if you feel any there.
Maybe right here.
Okay. So there you go. So she's just rocking back and forth slightly until she finds a spot, and then hold it. Get on your elbows and see if that will help. Put a little more weight on there.
There, right there. So you want me to rock back and forth and then
Just until you find the spot, and then
Okay.
you find the knot, and then hold it. And make sure you're taking deep breaths in and out into that, and that will help that muscle relax even faster. Okay, so just hold that, and let me know when you feel that release. Sometimes it's an obvious release, like you can literally feel it just like go, and sometimes it's a little bit more, takes a little bit more work, even more than one session, if it's a big knot or a stubborn knot.
I think
That was it?
that was it, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So that's foam rolling. And while you're down here, let's stretch out that front of the those hip flexors while we're at it. So this is what you're gonna do for that. You're gonna come onto your knees, bring one, oh yeah, no I did it. Bring one foot up. So you've got a 90-degree angle in this leg, you've got a 90-degree angle in this leg. And what you're gonna do is engage the glutes, so tucking under, which is gonna be a little hard for you. And then you would push forward. If you're so tight that you can't do that, your starting point is simply right here. Push forward, release.
Okay.
Push forward, release, so that you're feeling that tension right here. There you go. Are you feeling that in the hip flexors?
Yeah.
So what it looks like is you're releasing these front ab muscles and arching just a bit in the back. So we have a tendency to do that to cheat a little bit. Our body will always try to find the easiest route. Perfect. So the difference there, to feel that a little more now. So what happened is she engaged that lower ab and kept that bucket neutral, and then went into the position, and that's where you're going to get the tension on the front of the leg. So when we arch our back, that gives us that stretch it makes us feel like we're stretching, but it's not actually stretching the right area. Perfect. So you can do this because your hip flexors are so tight. You should do this, like, if you can. You can even do it a couple times a day.
Yeah.
And get those both really nice and moves. I think you'll notice a difference in like just how you're walking and standing, maybe even some back pain, anything like that. So there we got a little arch going there. So come back up, engage those abs nice and tight. Perfect. Bucket is neutral, and then we're squeezing forward if we can. Sometimes for certain people, like they're so tight that their starting point is just engaging and relaxing, engaging and relaxing. So don't feel like you have to push forward if your body's not ready for it yet. Perfect. Okay. All right, that's it.